and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors? Now, time for the most in-depth look at the world of ECU athletics. Welcome in to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Now, here's your host, Stephen Igo.
On a Tuesday, February 4th edition of the program. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. If you got a question, comment, a concern, drop it there. Over the next hour, we'll get to it. As always, our shows are archived on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So if you missed any of the show, like yesterday, we talked with Joe Sampson, got his take on the Super Bowl. We also, later in this program, we're going to have our first visit with ECU infielder Dixon Williams in studio. Dixon, of course, played a lot of third base for ECU last year. We'll tell you where he's playing this year, what he thinks of some of the new guys, some of the returning guys, some of the pitchers, all that sort of stuff. We'll get into the scrimmages and what he's seen this preseason. Pirates set to open the 2025 season on February 15th. February 14th, Valentine's Day on that Friday against George Mason. So 10 days away from first pitch. I tell you what, we're 30 seconds into the show. We already have multiple comments. That's a good thing. Again, we'll have Dixon Williams starting next segment. We have Philip Pilkington producing today's show. He's back at the 94.3 The Game studios. Philip, how is it going on this Tuesday?
It's good. Excited to talk to Dixon. You know, he's always a good interview. It's nice to not only have a great Pirate baseball player, but to have, a local kid. I feel like he connects to the ECU fan base more than maybe anyone else who's been here in a long time, and that's no disrespect to the other players, but just very much like, C.J. Johnson and Holton Ahlers, where he's a Conley guy. Stephen Igo, sorry I didn't include him in the great Conley Vikings.
I am very far down the list.
And so, it's always fun to kind of get his perspective on the program because he grew up, watching it so much, and it's going to be fun to talk to him about that. So I'm excited to talk to Dixon.
Yeah, and full disclosure, Philip said, we recorded it yesterday. He actually went to the wrong address, so we had to wait for him a little bit. But, hey, he found the studio. We got it in, so glad to get Dixon on the show. And we'll have him on a handful of times this year via 23 Club, obviously great NIL initiative for ECU baseball through Team Boneyard. So we will have that for you shortly. All right, we've got comments. Cameron, I'll just read it. I don't know if we have time today. We got James Giglio coming in tomorrow. We'll save this discussion for tomorrow. ECU intern, son of Joe Giglio. Cameron says, can we please have an honest discussion on the state of ECU burnerverse? Seems like there's a new account every day. Most of them are idiots making us look bad. Seems like it's getting out of hand. So, Phil, how about we table that discussion for tomorrow when we have more time? But I would like to say some things about that. So we'll do that tomorrow. Just remind me, because I'm terrible about remembering things.
I'll remind you pre-show.
All right, Chuck has a question. Is there any concern about retaining Yannick Smith since his brother was offered by UNC yesterday? So we'll start there. We're going to start with a departure on the ECU staff, which we'll get to in a minute. But since we got a question from Chuck, look, I have concern about retaining every single player on the roster from this point forward every day until the season kicks off. I'm going to be honest. The state of college football is always in flux. You've got, of course, the portal window. You have a 10-day window at the end of spring practice, and ECU will actually practice through and beyond the window because they're going later this year. The spring game will be April 26th, I believe is the date, and that's, I think, a day or two after the portal window closes. So players will be probably jumping into the portal during the midst of spring practice. But what Chuck is referring to is UNC, right after Yasir Smith, who is Yannick Smith's little brother, is about to sign with ECU on Wednesday, coming off an official visit to East Carolina, had not been recruited by anybody really at the FBS level. ECU was recruiting Yasir Smith, probably a large degree because of Yannick, and he had committed. He was set to sign Wednesday. Then all of a sudden, around 5:30 last night, North Carolina offers Yasir Smith. I don't think he's ever visited there, certainly not with this staff. And there are reports out of South Carolina now that Yasir Smith intends to sign with North Carolina Wednesday. Now, sister site on North Carolina, on 24/7 Sports, our Inside Carolina site, has not confirmed the offer or the commitment. Yasir Smith, from my understanding, still needs to do some things to fully qualify for the Division I level for university. So obviously, ECU is a state public university, as is Chapel Hill. So you would have to think he'd have to meet those qualifications in both regards to get into school. But certainly seems like I don't know. We already saw Bill Belichick and company poach Gavin Gibson from ECU. Blake Carroll called that out. I think this has got to be a deliberate attempt to try to get Yannick Smith. I mean, I hate even talking about this stuff, Philip, but like, unless they are just absolutely desperate for defensive linemen, which maybe they are. I was reading that they are pretty depleted up front. That's also why they took CJ Mims. Look, I'm starting to get pretty annoyed already with Bill Belichick. Like, go do your own homework, man. Quit trying to poach ECU players. And if you're this great mastermind, how about you go find some players not directly related to ECU to try and poach?
Yeah, and if you're going to poach our players, how about you schedule us and see how that goes?
Yeah, about that.
But, there are more opportunities for this in the portal, Steven, but because of the portal. But this is nothing new. We've seen it in the past, back in the days of just recruiting high school kids. Hey, you really want a guy. He sounds like he's going to go somewhere. Oh, his brother might not be as good, or his best friend that he's been, they've been in class together since 4-year-old preschool. Hey, we're going to waste a scholarship on player B just to get player A. It's something that guys have done for years. There's always been sort of manipulation with that. It's just the more opportunities you have to choose a team, the more opportunities you have to do these sorts of things. And then obviously now, because they're not the same age, that brings that in. Whereas back in the day, it had to be recruiting out of high school. So it had to be a twin brother or it had to be a friend. So it's frustrating, but I mean, look, to answer the question though, am I worried about keeping Yannick Smith? I was worried about keeping Yannick Smith about 4 weeks into the season. I'm really surprised just somebody didn't go off from the bag and he's not already gone. Nature of college football. Look, I hate to be a farm system, but if you can be the best farm system in the country, that's a good thing. Go be, I know I've referenced on the show before, go be Borussia Dortmund, the German soccer team that's a farm system for all the English teams. Now, they win a lot of championships because Germany's not as high of a level sometimes as and then they do have Bayern Munich and some other teams, so they don't always win it, but it's not as high of a level as the Premier League. So it's good to be the ultimate farm system sometimes. I mean, it stinks because we're going to have a lot of turnover, but hey, if they're poaching our guys, that's better than poaching Old Dominion's guys or somebody else from our conference.
Yeah, we could have a whole discussion about this. I think ECU fans would be able to not even accept it, but maybe tolerate it if it wasn't North Carolina. When you say that it's North Carolina, which if you look at the institutional history of the University of UNC at Chapel Hill and what they tried to do to ECU years ago, like there's always going to be some disdain there, dating back to that from an academic perspective. You can go and research that. So like, if you want to be a farm system to Georgia, Alabama, like I think they would tolerate that. If North Carolina is going to come and try to keep poaching ECU players, even though ECU really probably can't do a whole lot about it, it's gonna disgust and anger a lot of fans because of the history of the two institutions long ago. So, but I don't know. Like I do know this. I know Yannick Smith is extremely happy at East Carolina. Just because his brother may sign there doesn't mean Yannick's leaving. Look, is it a possibility? Look, anything's a possibility right now in college football. I do know ECU, if they want to, they could pay Yannick Smith, more money if they had to. I'm sure they could. I don't know the exact financials there, but that, it just seems to me like they could based on what I've heard. So if it comes to that, They could do their best. If UNC wants to offer them $1 million, since they've apparently got unlimited money for Bill Belichick, then it's probably going to be hard to come by. But I'm pretty sure UNC is good at receiver right now. Yannick, honestly, has everything he could want right here. He could go have a monster sophomore season and then name his price next offseason. So from his perspective, I don't think it would make a ton of sense to leave unless the money is just incredibly differential, which is possible. But I do think ECU can at least pay to make it financially lucrative to stay. Moving on. What was your favorite moment of the Noah Joseph era at East Carolina, Philip?
Him coming on Hoist the Colors.
I agree. He was a nice guy. East Carolina general manager former general manager Noah Joseph is leaving to be an analyst at LSU. So a couple things here. Noah, really good guy. It was pretty clear talking to him and people around him, he wanted to get back into coaching. He'd been a coach for like 20 years or so at the college level. He started at Purdue, he told us, in a coaching role, got shifted to general manager, and then it just kind of took off from there. Obviously, he took this job, I'm sure, to have some stability, some income, most importantly, and now he's going to be an analyst at LSU. And I think that's, from his perspective, probably his pathway to get back into coaching. That's more of a coaching role than an administrative role where you're handling contracts and all that sort of stuff. So kind of, definitely a bummer, because I felt like he would be a good fit from the standpoint if he knew what he was doing with NIL and roster construction. But honestly, Philip, I'm not going to say he did his job, because he was only here a month. I'm sure that his original goal was to be here for more than that. But he got ECU through the winter transfer portal period, which is probably half the job of a GM. And now he's off to try to be a coach again. So I kind of hate that Blake went through the process to hire him only for him to leave. Like, I feel like, if you commit to something like that, you at least need to stay for a year or close to a year. But, everybody's a grown-up. They can make their own decisions. And ECU's now got to hire a new general manager.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating, right? But like you said, at least he was effective when he was here. Look, this is nothing new, right? Manny Diaz. Remember how long he was coach at Temple? A heck of a lot less time than what's his name was here. And then didn't Belichick go coach the Jets? Was it the Jets that Belichick coached for like a day and a half?
So, yeah.
Or somewhere. So, this has happened. It's happened in the NFL. It's happened outside of football and other athletics, and it's happened in college football with like guys like Manny Diaz. It stinks. It is what it is. I mean, we could sit here and do a whole show on it, right? But it's all it would be us rambling.
Yeah. I just hate it for the coaches. But look, the Blake Harrell's getting paid over $1 million now, and this comes with the territory of being a head coach. And I do know that he interviewed a lot of GM candidates. I'm sure I've already had like 3 people I know in the industry reach out to me wanting this job. So, and a few of them are very well qualified. So ECU will be able to hire somebody here fine. It's just the turnover isn't ideal, but this is college sports now. All right, final quick thing, and then we'll get to Dixon Williams. There's a new ECU baseball banner at Clark LeClaire Stadium. Pretty sweet banner. You can go to the ECU baseball Twitter account, check it out. It is a picture of Gavin Williams, Connor Norby, and Alec Burleson in their respective pro uniforms, right on the facade of the outside of Clark LeClaire above the ticket office, in their Guardians, Cardinals, and Marlins jersey, respectively. So I thought the graphic was done well. Pretty sweet. We did have Scott Lorbatcher make a comment, where's Jeff Hoffman, Sean Armstrong? Jeff Hoffman, of course, just signed a mega deal and is signed one of the biggest free agent deals for a reliever in MLB history, and then also is the first All-Star in ECU history. So, maybe we'd like to see him included, but I understand, too, these are Cliff Godwin guys. They're guys that come back to the program every year. They're guys that have spoken at the banquet, so I understand that, too. But maybe there's a way we can honor Hoffman and Sean Armstrong and others as well. Philip, your thoughts on this banner? It looks pretty sweet.
It does, and it's cool to have it. It kind of gives you that Major League Baseball feel, right, with the banners. So I like that. As for the Hoffman thing, look, these I understand what people are saying. But, and I'm playing devil's advocate here. I do not know this. This is all speculation. Hoffman signed 3 weeks ago. I'm guessing the proposal for this banner and how long it takes to make these really big banners was more than 3 weeks ago. At that time, we didn't know who Hoffman was going to play for next year. So it could have been one of those things where you didn't want to throw him up there in, a Phillies uniform and then him not be a Philly, and then it would kind of look dumb. So, yeah, he only signed 3 weeks ago. It was in the year 2025, and I'm guessing this banner design probably was submitted probably before Christmas, if I had to guess, just knowing how early we have to submit things here at IBX Media when we need banners for Concert in the Commons or something else like that, and ours are way less detailed even than this. So that could very much be the thing. But again, I don't know, playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah, I was trying to get more information on that. It does have every player on the list was a first-team All-American. Jeff Hoffman at ECU was not that, so I don't know if that played a role. But either way, worthy of discussion, I think. But still a cool banner and awesome stuff by ECU Athletics and Baseball. All right, we'll get a break in. When we come back, speaking of Pirate Baseball, we'll have Dixon Williams. ECU junior infielder on the other side. You'll enjoy that chat as we have that going for a couple segments. We'll be right back. Hoist the Colors on a Tuesday.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern Living's best small town.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked to order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Sawyer's Fun Park in Winterville is now open. With over 40,000 square feet of family fun, daily money-saving deals, and a full-service restaurant, Sawyer's Fun Park is guaranteed to have something the whole family will love. Test your ninja skills on our 2-story obstacle course or head over to one of our 5 rock walls and race your friends to the top. And when you've worked up an appetite in our laser tag arena or our one-of-a-kind ropes course, grab a table over at the restaurant and try our world-famous Southern Monster Fries. Reserve your spot today at SawyersFunPark.com and come join in on the fun.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Everything you need to know in the world of ECU athletics. This is Hoist the Colors with Steve and Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back in, Hoist the Colors on a Tuesday, February 4th edition of the program. We've got a special in-studio guest. We've got ECU baseball player Dixon Williams, Pirate junior infielder / outfielder. I don't know what exactly we want to call you, Dixon, because you play all over these days. But first off, man, welcome in studio. Glad to have you in.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me in.
Yeah, so we had media day recently, and I know you've been doing a bunch of interviews around town. So hey, you're used to this, right?
A little bit. It's I don't think it's something you ever get like totally used to. But,
yeah.
Definitely gotten a lot better at it, I'd say. Just trying to, grow in it. It's definitely something that takes practice for sure.
Well, we appreciate you coming in, and we're obviously partnering with the 23 club to get you in several times this year. So looking forward to that. We had a lot of your teammates on in the past, and we'll get several teammates on throughout the season. So looking forward to that, man. But let's just talk. So to kind of give you an update, Philip and I, we've been doing a roster rundown to introduce everybody to some of the new players. Like a lot of ECU fans, they know Dixon Williams, they know number 1. What's it been like for you this offseason, getting to know a lot of new guys and kind of welcoming in the program and everything?
Yeah, first day back was obviously kind of a culture shock, honestly, because you walk in, you're used to seeing, guys that have been there for 3-4 years, and all of a sudden I'm like the old guy. So yeah, that was definitely like a weird feeling, but now I feel like we're a tight knit group and kind of back to that same spot where every team kind of gets. You know, you kind of figure out how you all mesh together and how you work together. And, yeah, I think since we've gotten back from break, we've really found that, just found how we work together as a group. So it's been really cool to see.
Yeah, y'all talked about it at media day. How you really, I think it's 28 new guys, the number now. Going to the season, but you can't really look at it that way because y'all have been together since day one of fall semester, and as well as anybody, like if you can survive the fall, you're officially an ECU baseball player, right? So kind of like now you got to accept each other and work together to make that team camaraderie, right?
Yeah, like you said, we put in a lot of hours, so we don't give them the excuse of being freshmen anymore. So they're a part of the team. They know what the standard is and how we go about things. So, and obviously we're gonna rely on a lot of them this year. So I'm excited for it.
So opening day, around 10 days away for you guys. You'll open with George Mason, and how, I guess, I don't know if challenging is the right word, but just to stay focused on like every day at a time right now. It's the cliche thing to say, Dixon, but it's also kind of the real thing, because if you start looking ahead too far, you're going to get, kind of lost in your preparation a little bit, or maybe not prepare like you should, right?
Yeah, so our T-shirt this year with the win today, that's important. But like you said, it kind of reminds me of the regional. Like people, as soon as we get Wake Forest, they're like, oh, that's going to be a good game. But we still have to play Evansville,
yeah.
and people just jump ahead. And, yeah, you really got to focus on what's in front of you, and you can't look too far ahead. It's nice to do every now and then, but be in the present moment, that's the most important thing.
Dixon Williams with us in studio here on 94.3 The Game, Hoist the Colors. Dixon, when I've been out there this preseason, you've mainly been playing second base, and I know Coach Godwin has said you could play all over. I saw you at shortstop a lot in the fall as well, and so right now, are you kind of anticipating starting off at second base and then see where it goes from there?
Yeah, in the fall it was bouncing around a lot.
Yeah.
Just with Riley being out and some outfielders, but I think right now second base will kind of be the spot.
And that we talked about it last year when Starr, who we had on the show, he had kind of said that was your natural position to an extent. Do you kind of agree with that?
Yeah, that's kind of where I've grown up playing, honestly. Yeah. Played a little bit of shortstop in high school, but not a ton. It's always kind of been second base and then third base for the past 2 years. So yeah, second base is definitely where I'm comfortable.
So I think Palumbo said we could maybe see as many as 7 spots defensively. So I'm guessing catcher is not one of those.
Catcher and pitcher, yeah. I think I could pitch, but me and AK don't discuss that. Nah.
What about center field? Can you play center if they need you?
I hope I don't have to play that because that means Riley's not there. So
right.
I'm going to say no, I won't play center this year. So Riley will be out there.
So probably not catcher, probably not center. What about first base? Could you throw in a first baseman's mitt?
I played that in summer ball my freshman year.
Okay.
So, yeah, I can scoop it a little bit. But I don't have a mitt anymore. Carter Cunningham actually took my glove.
Oh, really?
I had a first base glove, and he's just using it now. So
he just took it?
Yeah, I need that back.
Yeah,
Carter.
I'll let him know you said that. So, well, hopefully, we can keep you in the middle of the infield, and obviously, I know y'all got some capable first basemen. Colby's been playing over there, and Austin Irby as well. So let's start with the scrimmages this past weekend. So I was out there Friday, Dixon. Saw y'all's team Purple hit really well in the first inning, and then a lot of good pitching after that. What was kind of your assessment as y'all went into Saturday, Sunday, kind of the weekend as a whole?
Yeah, like you said, the first inning it was like, dang, we're about to score a lot of runs today, and then honestly, kind of slowed down from there the whole weekend. I think 1 run on Saturday and 1 run on Sunday. So pitching staff did really good. Weren't walking a lot of guys and just keeping those free 90s down, and we're able to just pitch really well. But obviously, as offense, we needed to, get better at some things. So we'll work on that and be ready to go this weekend. And then obviously it's opening day, so
yeah,
just excited for it. But yeah.
So one more weekend before open day. So I think y'all went 7 innings Friday. I heard y'all kind of had an abbreviated scrimmage Saturday. Any idea if y'all would try to go closer to 9 this coming weekend to try to get ready for that game atmosphere? Or is that kind of a coach's decision?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I know think we're wearing jerseys this weekend, so
Okay.
trying to make it as real as possible. So that could be in the cards. But yeah, we don't have the schedule yet. So.
Okay. It's a day-by-day schedule.
Yeah, they don't want to let us back to win today. Yeah, can't look too far in advance.
Exactly. I understand it. Dixon Williams with us in studio. So, thoughts on we'll kind of talk about the pitching to begin with. You know, thoughts on some of those guys. Like, who's really impressing you right now on the mound?
Yeah, obviously everybody mentions Sean Jenkins, really special arm. Brian Towers, good arm. Jaden was I thought he pitched really well this weekend. Guys like Ian White, Tyler Bashir, they're starting to, really figure out who they are and what they do well. And Gabe Beschloss, I mean, some of those young guys are really starting to pitch well, fill up the zone, and be able to manage the run game. So I'm excited about, the arms we have this year. Ethan Young throws the crap out of the ball too. It's a lot of arms. D'Lo's been pitching really good. So yeah, I think for the pitching side of things, it's really exciting.
So, like, when the thing I've noticed, AK Austin Knight, the pitching coach kind of touched on it too at media day, but like a lot of different types of arms. It's not like even if a guy's throwing low 90s or like high 80s, which you might see more commonly than a mid 90s, which y'all have on staff, as you mentioned, like different arm slots. You got a lot of lefties, you got a lot of righties, so that probably makes it pretty tough on you guys as hitters, right?
Yeah, especially when you're facing them for 1 inning, 2 innings maybe, but we were talking about this the other day, me and Riley, just being able to see, like, velo this early, I think it would just better prepare us down the road because, in past, like, preseasons, guys aren't – I feel like some guys throw harder in game, but a lot of guys have been really throwing hard in the preseason, so it's just getting us better prepared.
What's it like to see Jake Hunter back on the mound after, obviously going through what he went through last year?
Yeah, it's pretty cool and just super, super excited for him because he worked really hard to get where he's at now, and just seeing his mindset on things and about the game of baseball is just really cool to see. Now he's just, grateful to be out there where he used to be. If he didn't do, have a certain ERA or pitch well, it was like kind of the end of the world. So seeing his mindset shift is pretty cool too.
Ethan Norby, man, he looks like a better version of himself last year. And last year he was obviously very good, Dixon. But have you had a chance to face off against him yet this preseason? Because he's throwing like 92, 93.
Yeah, I haven't faced him this preseason.
What have you seen just from watching him on your as you're in the field then, if you haven't faced him?
I might have faced him, actually. No, I haven't yet. But I have seen his velo up. I did, I went in one of his bullpens and kind of tracked. But I wasn't swinging. So, but yeah, I think he looks really well. I forgot to mention him too. Yeah,
there's a lot of pitchers.
Yeah, it really is, and he's slinging it now, like 93.
Yeah,
I don't know if he touched before. He might have.
Yeah,
dude, he looks extremely well, and I think he's going to be play a major role in some of those big crucial moments this year, like shutting the door or whatever we need from him. But yeah, he's an awesome dude.
Position player wise, like pitcher, you got a lot of new faces around you, some familiar faces as well. But we'll start with the infield. Just who's around you right now, playing well and catching your eye.
Yeah, you got Austin Irby at first base. Nick Parm's been playing over there a little bit too. He can slide over to second. They've both been playing pretty well, hitting it well. Boucher at short, really big frame, athletic, and he can swing it too, throw it. And then you got Braxton and Colby can go over to third and first. You might see them both, but yeah, Braxton's obviously a freaking tank. He's a big dude. So, but yeah, they've all been playing really well, and it's just cool to see them just develop. Honestly.
Yeah, no doubt. They've impressed me and several others just watching the scrimmages, Dixon, with their power and definitely at the plate. Irby and Braxton.
Yeah, they can swing it.
Yeah, they can hit the ball a long way like yourself. So outfield-wise, like you said, you've spent some time out there, especially in the fall. This time of year, I know Riley's been, working his way back from shoulder surgery, so he's hoping to get out there soon. But what have you seen from the outfield as you look out there?
Yeah, they've looked a lot better since we got back. You got Jack, Keenan, Davin. We got Riley, but yeah, just in the fall, they were all trying to, learn the whole outfield, how we run things, and it can get confusing, like especially with now it's just Riley out there, where it was 3 guys who've been playing out there together for 2 or 3 years. They knew each other, so they kind of had to learn each other and figure out kind of how we do things. But ever since we got back, they've been really good at tracking down the outfield and obviously swinging it well. Keenan's a great player, and so is Dave. AP can really play out there, so excited to see the guys out there because they can roll.
So I saw Keenan. He homered Friday. I guess you can call it wind aided. I mean, he got it up in the jet stream.
Bit, yeah.
But either way, it's like when you're a hitter, and that day it was like, I don't know how Colby hit his because he hit it through the wind, which is ridiculous. But when you see the wind and the flag whipping like that, how do you try not to let it impact your swing? Because like you gotta want to just like hook it up into the Gulf Stream or the jet stream.
Yeah, you kind of just have to envision that it's like I guess it's blowing straight out. Just don't think about which way it's blowing, and you just try and hit the ball hard, and if it goes, it goes. If not, put your best swing on it. We're just trying to hit balls hard, and that's why we do quality at bats. So just trying to keep track of that, just putting balls hard in play or just having really tough at bats.
All right, he is Dixon Williams. We're going to break in. We'll come back. We'll talk about Dixon's background, what led him to ECU as a Conley Viking, and we'll get more into that and his time at East Carolina. This is Hoist the Colors on a Tuesday.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Looking for a great deal on a new Nissan?
At Greenville Nissan, we've got a great selection of new Nissans for under $30,000.
The stylish Nissan Sentra, offering top-notch fuel economy. The Nissan Altima, known for its comfort and technology.
The Nissan Kicks, the perfect combination with its compact design and performance. The Nissan Versa, delivering incredible value without compromising on features. And don't forget the Nissan Rogue, an award winner for 10 years in a row. Drive it home just for $22 down and $349 a month.
Visit GreenvilleNissan.com today.
Greenville Nissan, where we drive to serve.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's cut in color. And let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville. Do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers. Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
We're live with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Hoist the Johnny Roger!
Now, back to Hoist the Colors.
All right, welcome back in Hoist the Colors on this Tuesday, February 4th edition of the show. We've got Dixon Williams, East Carolina junior infielder in studio. Dixon, we just talked about this year's current team quite a bit, and Let's talk about your background. Obviously, what led you to East Carolina. So you're a Conley Viking, and I went to Conley too. So
It's good.
Good spot.
Yeah.
Good spot to grow up in. Good spot to learn baseball. Obviously, Coach Mills does a great job over there. So when did you know in your high school career, like you were, like, did you grow up watching ECU? Did you kind of know all along if they offered you were probably going to be a Pirate?
I would say it honestly was right. Probably like 7th or 8th grade is like when I realized, okay, ECU's like it'd be pretty cool. And then obviously around that time the regionals started happening, and just seeing that environment really just made the decision easy when I was offered. So yeah.
So did you have like a chance to get, because back then in baseball recruiting still happens super early, but did you have a chance to get other offers? Did you just commit so early, like it was just like nobody else got the chance to recruit you?
Yeah, I was talking to UVA.
Okay.
UVA at the time, and then ECU called, and it was pretty much
it's like, I'm ready.
Done deal. Yeah.
So like we talked about it with Holden Ahlers too. Like naturally there's some pressure, like being a hometown guy, but like it's also super cool because you got friends and family. So like how did you maybe learn to balance that? Especially last year when you started playing a whole lot.
Yeah, it's tough because, you got social media nowadays. And, but then you also have teammates you're trying to hang out with you have to bond with them. You got parents, try and hang out with them, balance time with them, and then friends from home and a girlfriend. So managing all that time is like, they're all important to me, but you kind of have to, break it up and be able to kind of be at different spots at once. So it's tough at first, but it's definitely worth it because I value all those relationships.
And, there's like last year and, your freshman year. So obviously, look, ECU baseball is a different beast. As a freshman, sometimes you got to learn the hard way. I don't know, like, how would you kind of sum up your freshman year? Because we knew you had the talent, and part of it, you had some older players at that time in front of you. So, like, how did you stay patient through all that and still develop and I'm assuming learn a lot during that season?
Yeah, I don't know if I was very patient. It was obviously a hard time for me. I'd never experienced that, and just couldn't show up to practice every day. So that just led to the coaches not trusting me to put me on the field. And once I kind of figured that out, that practice is where you kind of earn their trust. And if you make plays in practice, they'll be like, oh, he's going to make the play in the game. So figuring that out and just honestly having confidence in myself to play at this level after summer ball was really where it clicked for me.
Yeah. It's reminiscent for me, like, of Connor Norby. I remember his freshman year, like, I would go out to scrimmages, but this dude's smashing the ball. Why isn't he playing? And then, like, he kind of matured, I guess. Next year he took off, similar to you. I don't know, have you talked to Connor at all about that, or have you looked at his story and be like, all right, clearly I've got a chance to be pretty good if I just stick to the plan at that time when you were kind of, I don't know, questioning it a little bit?
Yeah, I've seen him at, like, the banquets and stuff, talked to him a little bit, but never about that. But Coach Godwin, kind of brings that up here and there about some Norby stories, so we get to hear those. It's pretty cool. Seeing, a 1 year difference almost is it's just pretty wild.
For you with your swing last year, and I remember, like, you were hitting the ball hard, but maybe not getting the results you wanted early in the season as far as average. Coach Godwin always says batting average is evil. Look, we report on it. Sports reporters have been reporting on bat average for years. I get it. You hit the ball hard right to a guy. It's not going to reflect the batting average, but it's what a lot of people refer to, right or wrong. Either way, how did you not let that affect your at-bats? Because you were having quality at-bats, but not maybe getting the results you wanted.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, it started to kind of wear down on me. Just, with all the pressure I was putting on myself. So once I finally Coach Godwin kind of sat me in his office, and he was telling me about one of his players at Ole Miss who did it his sophomore year, hitting the ball hard, lining out, and was never able to flip the switch that season. But then his junior season starts off the exact same way. And then after experiencing it, he was like, I'm doing what I need to do, and I'm hitting the ball hard. I'm going to just keep sticking to that. And then he ended up having a really good season. So after I met with Coach Godwin, that kind of relieved some of stress and pressure I was putting on myself because it's not really fun batting 220 or 190, and you have people telling you what you need to do with your swing and all these things. You got all these outside sources. So just being able to know what I'm doing and sticking to that, it's going to work in the long run.
Yeah, your swing is it's almost like now watching it almost looks effortless, but you obviously apply a lot of barrel to the ball. You get the barrel to the ball a lot is the way to say it. It's like, did you have to alter your swing? I read something about you may have lowered your hand or something. I don't know if that's accurate. Like there was some long tweet about I don't know if you saw it, probably not. But like, have you made any alterations to your swing or batting stance in the past year or so?
I was up my hands were up at the regional ball when I went off to summer ball. Yeah, kind of. I was just like trying out some things, and then it clicked a little bit. So they're a little bit lower, but they end up working back up to the same spot. So yeah, but yeah, no, I didn't see that tweet. I don't try not to be on social media around this time.
Yeah, stay off of it. It's really, even as somebody who has to tweet for a living, I don't really like being up there. But it is one of those things where there's a lot of mess out there. So Dixon Williams with us, ECU baseball player, infielder right now. We'll call him. He may dip out to the outfield every now and then. How's the double play combination going with you and Alex Boucher at shortstop? Pretty good.
Yeah, I really like that duo up the middle. Yeah. We're roommates right now, and we've been hitting together since high school. So
I was
got a really tight bond. Yeah,
South Central guy, so y'all probably had a good rivalry.
Yeah,
I know he was from Virginia originally, right? And then
came down here his freshman year.
So y'all had some good battles in high school.
We did. He got the last laugh, but yeah, it was good. I faced him in high school too. He used to be a pitcher. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, I do have that over him.
So did you? So you got a hit off of him? Yeah.
He tried to blow it by me, fastball 3 times. So finally on the third one, I hit it. I missed the first 2, but yeah.
That's why you get 3 strikes.
That's right.
Did you do any pitching at Conley?
I pitched in the 3rd round of playoffs for 2 outs, and that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got 2 outs. What about how many hits did you give up?
It was 2 strikeouts. Struck out 2 guys. Yep. And then I was done. I just retired.
Well, man, you should have pitched more after that. I need to talk to Mills. What happened? They
I don't
just
know.
wanted to deploy you for 2 batters?
I threw bullpens my senior year.
Okay.
But then I don't think I ever pitched. Because I hurt I'd hurt my shoulder a little bit that year.
Okay.
I had a little rotator cuff, like tendonitis thing going on. But yeah, I pitched in a JV game one time and gave up like 6 runs. So my stats on the varsity one are a lot better than my JV pitching days.
2 outs, says 2 scoreless innings, and your strikeout to walk ratio is like infinity. So I mean, you're doing
it's
great.
100. Is that 100%? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, man. I'd be bragging about that more than your home run off Chase Burns. But
yeah, I'm kind of like Beal. I drop down a little bit. I'll throw it from down here, and then I mean I don't have like a top slot, but I can work it down
hit
here
him
a
with
little bit.
The submarine sidearm type. Yeah. I like that. Y'all have anybody employing that? I know I was saying earlier, like Brashear, he kind of is doing some different arm slots, but anybody going like full Danny Bill where they're just, all over the place?
I don't think so.
Yeah, not yet.
Brashear's probably the closest one. When we get, I think Dawson Kerr, when he comes back, he might be a lower slot
gotcha.
guy, but
just give AK some time. He'll find somebody.
Oh, yeah. He always does.
Dixon Williams with us in studio. So a few more things for you. I know y'all released y'all's walk-up songs recently. Look, I'm like a hard rock guy, so I don't know if you fit in that genre. What's your walk-up again? I want to say I looked it up and I gave you a shout-out, but I can't remember.
It's a remix.
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of like an upbeat song remix.
It's like Gwen Stefani, right? Or like her.
Sweet Escape.
Yeah. So I like that one. That's a good walk-up.
For a little remix. I try and just keep whatever's going on, like whatever people are.
I feel like it'll get the people, like the crowd, interactive.
Yeah,
you know?
that's kind of what I go for. I don't need the walk-up song for me necessarily.
Right.
Just
it's
everybody to have a good time.
It's no baton to Chispa like Carter Cunningham, but
Yeah, that's still the wildest one.
Yeah, I used to give him crap for that. So, any others that your teammates got going that you really like?
I haven't
paid attention to it.
I haven't given many of them a listen,
Right.
but I think some of the pitchers got some songs that you would like. If you're a rock
Yeah.
guy. I mean, I'm guessing, did you listen to all of them? Or
So
just a
I've
couple?
looked at them all, and there's a few like Sean Jenkins. He's got Avenged Sevenfold. He's got some hard rock. So
Yeah, the kid's 17. He's like a 70-year-old.
Yeah, I'm for it, man.
Yeah, he's like an old man, dude. It's hilarious, but he's super talented, obviously.
And for 17, I mean, that's pretty impressive. Like I was an idiot at 17, I'm sure. So, watching him and Coach Godwin, we haven't really gotten into what his role will be. I mean, Austin Knight said like he'll probably be a weekend starter. So I'm not asking you to say what he's going to do, but like he would seem to have the maturity if they put him in that role to like handle it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think a lot of guys think that about him. He's just, it seems like anytime he gets in a tough situation with runners on, he finds a way out of it, strikes out a guy. Like he's just, he's very mature, and he's got some good stuff. So
y'all as players, and Cliff Godwin's done this a long time, where he lets y'all vote on like the hardest workers on the team, and I think it's like super interesting. Obviously, it's one of those things where you're going to get the respect of your teammates if you're towards the top of that list. So I imagine you'll have to put a lot of thought into that, because it matters, and I'm sure nobody's not working hard, but like to rank your teammates in that, I mean, there's got to be a lot of thought that goes into that.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult to rank your teammates. Like you don't want to, kind of rank somebody in the wrong area or kind of leave guys out, but it always works itself out. Like the guys that really put in the work, it shows, and that's why they're always voted up at the top. And guys that are at the bottom, it's not personal. It's just, sometimes a wake-up call for guys. I really wasn't that high on – we do the hitters too, like hardest worker, best hitter, and then how you see the lineup kind of thing. So my freshman year, I wasn't ranked, high up on one of the better hitters, but that's something where you go, okay, I got something to get better at. So
a little chip on the shoulder too, right? So it can work in a positive way. I always say, a motivated pirate is the best pirate, because it's kind of what makes ECU. Chip on the shoulder mentality. What about you? Like for you, obviously you had some success. You had a big summer season. How do you keep that chip on your shoulder and not be satisfied with any, talk about any of this success or whatnot? Yeah,
I think for me, it goes back just to the last game of the season. Just not getting the job done. So it wasn't enough. So there obviously needs to be some more work put in to get where we want to go. And, we set a big goal, but we also work very hard to achieve that goal. So we'll never lose sight of that. And no matter what happens or where we get, I think ECU will always be a hungry group.
For you, these next 10 days or so before opening day, like, is there any individual goal you really want to improve on as a player, whether it be fielder, base running, hitting, or is it more just as a team right now continuing to gel and everything?
Yeah, I think right now we had kind of building off this weekend. We had a really good weekend. Started to limit the free 90s, and just being able to go into this weekend, maybe see a little bit more offense, but hopefully the pitchers are still filling up the zone, not giving us free passes, but just a competitive scrimmage this weekend and start getting ready to play another uniform, because, we got a lot of guys that are good dudes on the team, but I think it's time to start competing and really wanting to beat up on somebody. So
no
I think
doubt
that starts this weekend.
Well, Dixon, this has been a lot of fun, man. Appreciate you stopping in studio again. 23 Club does a great job supporting ECU baseball. We'll get you back on a handful of times this year, man, but appreciate the time. I know you're busy. Glad you can make it to the right location on Arlington Boulevard. But hey,
thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely awesome stuff from Dixon Williams. We'll have him back on down the road this season. We'll be right back on Hoist the Colors.
Ready to go for big savings? You've got the green light at Greenville Toyota with the new Corolla just $239 a month, or new Tacoma only $349 a month. The green light savings event is on right now at Greenville Toyota.
The team of Flatlands Jessup is working overtime to help ensure that Eastern North Carolinians like you get the health insurance help you need this open enrollment period. New legislation passed, meaning more people than ever qualify for affordable coverage. Let us help you today.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Everybody loves Tiebreakers.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
Tired of the 1-800 numbers advertising Medicare products? Flatlands Jessup has 6 offices all throughout eastern North Carolina. Get face-to-face help from our local award-winning licensed team. Stop by today. Flatlands Jessup, your whole world covered.
Hey, grab me one too.
Your roof is a vital part of protecting your home and family from dangerous storms and hurricanes. At Assist Roofing, we install and maintain metal roofing that provides precise protection. Add value to your home while lowering utility costs with a fortified roof to last a lifetime. With 0% financing, grants, and Energy Star Green Roofing tax credit available. Call us to schedule a free consultation so you can weather any storm with confidence.
Green is what you'll save during our Green Light Savings event at Greenville Toyota. Get a new Camry, $269 a month, or a new RAV4, $339 a month. When the green light is on, you save big at Greenville Toyota.
Climb aboard as we set sail and hoist the colors.
Ahar, matey!
Back to the show with Steve and I go on 94.3 The Game.
Turn your mic on, Igo.
We're back on Hoist the Colors. I had it muted during the break.
We appreciate that,
My
so
dogs
that
are
we didn't
barking.
have to listen to your dogs over the Dixon Williams interview.
There you go. Hey, I appreciate the heads up. The mic is on, and what I was saying when I was muted is that it was great to talk with Dixon Williams and catch up with him again. We'll have him a handful of times this season through 23 Club, and along with a handful of other players throughout the season. All right, we got a few minutes left, so what we need to do is run through some of the ECU baseball roster because we're behind. Lane Smith has a question. If the season started today, who would be the starting pitcher? Lane, I don't know. I would say gut says Sean Jenkins. As crazy as it is to sounds for a 17-year-old, that is my gut. But that is my prediction. I don't know if you got a quick prediction there, Philip.
Sorry, Michael moved my camera, and I was making intern Brandon changing it back. What was that question?
If the season started today, who would be the starting pitcher?
Sean Jenkins.
Yeah, I mean,
I personally wouldn't give a
think
17-year-old the ball right off the jump.
Yeah.
But with Hunter's injuries, yeah.
Towers is
Towers
banged up right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, he's been their best pitcher, and it's just a matter of whether they want to start a 17-year-old on Friday night. So we'll know that answer soon. All right, roster rundown. We're up to number 16, and that is Parker Bird, the third-year infielder. He's listed as infield / right-handed pitcher, so maybe we see a pitching debut from Parker Bird this year. I know he pitched some in summer ball, but Parker Bird, I mean, we don't even have to say a whole lot, Philip. Just the story of college baseball, and it's amazing he's even to this point.
It is, and credit to Parker for everything he's done, and over the over the summer. You mentioned he pitched a little bit, first time since high school, first time since his injury he had pitched, because we even asked him one day, I think, I can't remember if it was on the record or off, can you still pitch? And he's like, I don't know about that. But also he's beat on his craft on the infield side of things. We only saw him in pinch hit roles opportunities last year. I think maybe there's some chance that we hopefully see him in the field as well this year, because he's really worked on his linear ability, where at first he was focusing solely on lateral ability.
Looking forward to more Parker Bird at-bats this year. Looking forward to him getting a hit as well. David Lillis, outfielder out of Landenberg, PA. He's a freshman left-handed hitter. Philip, I think he'll be more of a depth piece this year, but a guy that in time could be pretty good, has some good at-bats that I've seen this fall and spring, but I think right now just has some other guys ahead of him, but a name to know for the future.
It is, and you hope that maybe he has a Riley Johnson-esque career. Riley Johnson was not a guy we talked about a lot his freshman year, and now he's the face of the program. So, hey, you never know.
All right, we'll table Ethan Norby for tomorrow, because I don't think we can discuss all of Ethan's accomplishments in about 20, 30 seconds, and I think he's going to be critical to this year's team. So we'll have James Giglio tomorrow. We'll get in a handful of players. Honestly, the next 5 or 6 are going to be key guys for the team, so we'll hit on those guys tomorrow on Hoist the Colors. James Giglio, Hoist the Colors intern, will be in studio. We'll also talk about ECU Burnerverse. Whatever that is, we'll break it down. We'll try to figure out who is running the Stephen Igo burner accounts. Maybe it's Philip. Maybe it's Scott Rogers. We'll try to take a guess at it tomorrow. But appreciate Philip Pilkington and Dixon Williams for their time on today's program. We'll be back tomorrow at 12 noon. We'll also preview ECU and Rice, as it'll be game day for the Pirate Hoops teams as well. We'll see you then.
This has been Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo. Tune in weekdays at noon for all things ECU sports. Get a recap of the show at 943thegame.com, on Twitter, Facebook, or anywhere you get your podcasts. We're back tomorrow with more of Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.